Texas owner's brand new 2025 Honda Civic burst into flames on the highway 6 weeks after he bought it. The fuel pump cracked, gasoline sprayed onto hot engine parts, and the car became an inferno in rush hour traffic. That's number 4 on this list. But it gets worse. Number 1 lost 9,000 customers in 12 months because the transmission they installed destroys itself at 80,000 miles and costs $8,500 to replace. These aren't exotic cars. These are Hondas, Toyotas, and Nissans. Your neighbor just financed for $40,000. Stay until the end. Number 10, Mazda CX-50, and nobody saw this coming because Mazda built a reputation for reliability that this SUV just destroyed overnight. The CX-50 launched in 2022 as Mazda's outdoorsy competitor to the RAV4 and CR-V, rugged styling, available turbo power, and that Mazda driving feel everyone loves. But within 18 months, the problems started piling up so fast that J.D. Power gave it an average reliability score, and Consumer Reports dropped its rating after member surveys revealed consistent failures. Water leaks are epidemic. Owners report water entering the cabin through door seals, sunroof drains, and window gaskets. One owner in Oregon said after every rainstorm, water pooled in the rear footwells, soaking the carpet and causing mold. The dealership resealed the doors 3 times. It still leaked. By the time he traded it in at 22,000 miles, the interior smelled like mildew and the resale value had tanked $6,000 below book value. The infotainment system freezes constantly. Touchscreen becomes unresponsive, navigation crashes mid-route, and the backup camera glitches, showing distorted images that make reversing dangerous. Multiple owners reported needing complete head unit replacements, which Mazda initially denied under warranty, claiming software issues don't count as defects. One customer in Florida had to hire a lemon law attorney to force Mazda to replace the system after 5 failed repair attempts. Forward collision avoidance malfunctions. The system either doesn't detect obstacles and fails to brake, or it phantom brakes for nothing, slamming the brakes at highway speed when there's no threat. NHTSA received dozens of complaints about sudden unexpected braking that nearly caused rear-end collisions. Mazda issued software updates, but owners report the problem persists. You bought a $38,000 SUV with safety systems that either don't work or actively create danger. Financial impact is brutal. CX-50S depreciated 26% in the first 2 years, significantly worse than the RAV4 or CR-V. Banks are hesitant to finance used CX-50S because of the documented problems. And Mazda's small dealer network means finding services harder, and resale buyers avoid them. If you own one, you're stuck. If you're shopping for one, walk away. But at least Mazda's problems are just annoying. The next car has failures so dangerous that owners are filing class action lawsuits claiming the vehicle nearly killed them. Number 9. Subaru Outback, 2020 to 2023, the family adventure wagon that left families stranded on the side of highways with 3 kids in the back. Subaru owners are cult-level loyal. They buy Outbacks for safety, reliability, and that rugged capability. But the 2020 to 2023 models have engine problems so catastrophic that Subaru quietly extended warranties and bought back hundreds under lemon laws without admitting fault. The 2.4-liter turbocharged engine consumes oil at absurd rates. Owners report burning through a quart of oil every 800 to 1,200 miles. The low oil warning light doesn't come on fast enough, and by the time you notice, the engine has been running low on oil for weeks. Multiple owners experienced complete engine seizures, one on a mountain road with his family, engine locked up, power steering and brakes failed, and the car coasted into the shoulder with no control. Subaru's initial response? Claim lack of maintenance, deny warranty, and suggest the owner didn't check oil frequently enough. Lemon law attorneys had to prove these owners had every scheduled service before Subaru agreed to replace engines or buy back vehicles. The CVT transmission shudders, hesitates, and fails. This is the same CVT issue plaguing multiple Subaru models. Owners describe violent shaking during acceleration, delayed response when merging onto highways, and complete loss of power. One owner in Colorado said her Outback lost all acceleration climbing a mountain pass, forcing her to pull over while semi-trucks roared past inches away. Subaru dealership said the transmission was operating normally. At 52,000 miles, the CVT failed completely. Replacement cost? $7,800. Subaru refused warranty coverage because it was 2,000 miles past the powertrain warranty. Electrical gremlins plague the vehicle. Infotainment freezes, safety systems malfunction, eyesight driver assist randomly deactivates, and dashboard warning lights appear with no actual faults. The most dangerous complaint? Phantom braking. The car slams on the brakes on highways for obstacles that don't exist. Multiple owners reported near rear-end collisions because the Outback braked violently for shadows, overpasses, or nothing at all. Resale values collapsed. 2020 Outbacks that sold for $35,000 new are worth $16,000 today. That's 54% depreciation in 4 years. Banks know about the engine and transmission problems and won't finance used Outbacks without extended warranties or huge down payments. Subaru's reputation took such a hit that loyal customers are walking away from the brand entirely. And if you think Subaru's engine failures are bad, the next sedan has a transmission so defective that 2 separate class action lawsuits are demanding Toyota recall millions of vehicles. Number 8. Toyota Camry 2017 to 2024 with the 8-speed automatic transmission, the car that was supposed to be the safest bet in sedans but turned into a financial nightmare. For decades, Camry meant reliability. You bought a Camry, did basic maintenance, and it ran forever. But the UA 88-speed automatic transmission Toyota installed in 2017 through 2024 models has a design flaw so severe that 2 class action lawsuits are accusing Toyota of knowingly selling defective vehicles. The transmission overheats and burns fluid. Owners report a persistent high-pitched whine, harsh shifting, shuddering, and eventual complete failure. One plaintiff, James Labutheller in Nevada, noticed transmission noise at 80,000 miles. The dealer said it was normal. At 125,000 miles, he complained again. Dealer held the car for 30 days, then claimed it was functioning properly. He took it to a different Toyota dealer. They found aluminum particles in the fluid and said the transmission was destroyed. Toyota agreed to pay for the new transmission, but told him to pay $3,500 for installation. He refused and filed a class action lawsuit. Another plaintiff, Neil Pillay in California, experienced the same whine at 67,000 miles. His transmission failed completely, requiring full replacement. The lawsuit alleges Toyota knew about the defect from thousands of complaints filed with NHTSA and internal warranty data, but chose to hide the problem rather than issue a recall. They kept selling cars with defective transmissions while owners paid $8,000 to $9,000 for repairs just outside of warranty. The lawsuits claim the transmission has 2 defects. First, excessive heat buildup burns the transmission fluid, causing premature failure. Second, internal components aren't durable enough for the transmission's design, leading to metal shavings, contaminating the fluid, and destroying gears. The result? Stalling, loss of power, harsh shifting, and complete failure often between 60,000 and 100,000 miles. That's exactly when most people finish paying off their car loans and expect the vehicle to last another 100,000 miles problem-free. Financial destruction is total. If your transmission fails at 70,000 miles and you're out of warranty, you're paying $8,500 for a replacement. Camrys with documented transmission issues lose 30% of their resale value instantly. You bought the Camry because it was supposed to be reliable. Instead, you're facing repair bills that exceed what you still owe on the car. Toyota hasn't issued a recall. They're fighting the lawsuits and hoping most owners don't realize their transmission is defective until it's too late to sue. But at least Camrys with bad transmissions don't catch fire. The next vehicle does both, and Honda is recalling 720,000 of them right now. Number 7. Honda CR-V 2000. It's 23 to 2025. Where America's best-selling SUV became a rolling lawsuit generator with steering failures and fuel system fires. The CR-V has been the default choice for families for 20 years. Reliable, practical, holds value. But the latest generation has so many documented failures that Consumer Reports dropped its reliability rating and J.D. Power gave it below-average scores. Honda issued multiple recalls, but owners report the repairs don't actually fix the problems. Steering failures are terrifying. Over 1.6 million Honda vehicles, including the 2023 to 2025 CR-V, were recalled for defective steering gearbox assemblies. The internal friction causes the steering to become difficult or completely unresponsive. Owners describe the steering wheel suddenly becoming stiff mid-turn, requiring both hands to force it, then releasing without warning and jerking the vehicle into another lane. One owner in Georgia said her son was making a left turn at 20 miles per hour when the steering locked, released violently, and sent the car up a curb into a parked vehicle. Airbags didn't deploy. Honda's fix? Replace a spring and add grease? Owners report the problem returns months later. Fuel pump fires are the nightmare scenario. The high-pressure fuel pump can crack and leak gasoline. Honda recalled 720,000 vehicles after reports of fuel leaks and fire risk. But here's what's terrifying. A Texas owner bought a 2025 CR-V, and 6 weeks later it caught fire on the highway during rush hour. The fuel pump cracked, gasoline sprayed onto hot engine components, and the vehicle became an inferno. He barely escaped. Honda's response? The recall repair wasn't available yet, so there was nothing they could do. They sold him a vehicle with a known fire risk and told him to wait for parts. The hybrid system in CR-V hybrid models loses power randomly. Owners report the vehicle suddenly entering limp mode on highways, reducing power to 20 miles per hour with traffic approaching at 70. NHTSA received multiple complaints about sudden power loss that nearly caused collisions. Honda issued recalls for inverter bolts that can come loose, but the problem affects multiple systems and there's no comprehensive fix. Resale values are holding better than they should because most buyers don't know about these problems yet, but insurance companies know. Premiums for CR-Vs are increasing due to the fire risk and safety system failures, and when word spreads about steering failures and fuel fires, resale values will collapse overnight just like they did with the Subaru Outback. If Honda's fires scare you, wait until you see what's happening with number 6, where the engine literally falls apart from the inside while you're driving. Number 6. Hyundai Elantra 2021 to 2024. The budget sedan that turns into an $8,000 repair bill when the engine self-destructs at 60,000 miles. Hyundai spent years rebuilding their reputation after the Theta engine disasters. They claimed the new SmartStream engines were reliable. They lied. The 2.0-liter engine in the 2021 to 2024 Elantra has catastrophic failures that Hyundai refuses to recall, leaving owners with destroyed engines and no warranty coverage. The connecting rods fail. These are the metal rods connecting the pistons to the crankshaft. When they fail, they break, punch through the engine block, and destroy the entire engine instantly. Owners report normal driving, no warning lights, then suddenly a loud bang, loss of power, smoke and oil dumping onto the road. One owner in Tennessee was driving 65 miles per hour when her engine exploded. Connecting rod broke, punctured the block, and the car coasted to a stop on the highway shoulder. She had 58,000 miles. Hyundai said the engine wasn't covered under warranty because it was out of the powertrain warranty period by 2,000 miles. Replacement cost? $9,200. NHTSA opened investigations into Hyundai and Kia engines after thousands of complaints. The data shows these engines fail at significantly higher rates than competitors. Hyundai's response? They extended warranties on some older models, but refused to recall the current Elantra. They're gambling that most engines won't fail until after warranty expires. Then owners pay for replacements out of pocket. There's a second problem. The engines catch fire. Multiple reports of Elantra engine fires while parked or driving. The problem is oil leaks from failed gaskets dripping onto hot exhaust components. NHTSA is investigating whether the connecting rod failures cause oil leaks that lead to fires. If your engine is burning oil or losing oil between changes, that's a warning sign, but most owners don't notice until it's too late and the engine seizes or catches fire. Financial impact is devastating. Elantras depreciated normally until the engine failure report surfaced. Now, 2021 models are worth $8,000 less than they should be. If your engine fails at 65,000 miles and you're out of warranty, you're paying $9,000 for a new engine on a car worth $12,000. You'll never recover that money. And good luck selling an Elantra with a replaced engine. Buyers know the new engine could fail just like the original, but at least when Hyundai engines fail, you can pull over safely. The next car loses steering and brakes simultaneously, and the manufacturer is still selling them with no fix available. Number 5. Kia Sportage 2023 to 2025, where the hybrid system fails so catastrophically that you lose all power and all steering assist while driving in traffic. The Sportage is Kia's best-selling SUV, stylish, loaded with features, and priced competitively, but the hybrid and plug-in hybrid models have electrical failures that leave drivers stranded in the middle of intersections with no power, no steering assist, and no brake assist. The 12-volt battery dies randomly. This isn't a bad battery that needs replacement. The hybrid system drains the 12-volt battery so fast that it dies even when the high-voltage battery is fully charged. Owners report getting in their Sportage after it's been parked for 2 days and finding it completely dead. No power, no lights, nothing. One owner in Arizona said his Sportage died in his garage 6 times in 3 months. Kia replaced the 12-volt battery 3 times. It kept dying. The problem is the hybrid system doesn't properly maintain the 12-volt battery charge. When it dies, you lose everything. Power locks, power windows, and you can't shift out of park. But here's the dangerous part. The hybrid system fails while driving. Owners report sudden loss of all electric power while driving on highways. The dashboard goes black. The vehicle loses all power assist for steering and brakes, and you're coasting with no control. One owner in California said her Sportage lost all power in the middle of an intersection. No warning, no check engine light, just complete electrical failure. She couldn't steer, she couldn't brake effectively, and she rolled through the intersection praying nobody hit her. Kia dealership couldn't reproduce the problem and sent her home. It happened again 2 weeks later. Kia issued a recall for hybrid battery fires, but not for the 12-volt system failures. Owners are filing lemon law claims, but Kia is fighting them, claiming the vehicles meet specifications. Translation? The vehicle is designed this way, and if it fails catastrophically, that's your problem. Multiple owners have hired attorneys after Kia refused buybacks despite repeated failures during warranty. Resale values are collapsing. 2023 Sportage hybrids depreciated 32% in 18 months. That's $12,000 lost on a $38,000 vehicle. Banks won't finance used Sportage hybrids without massive down payments because they know about the electrical failures and don't want to repossess vehicles with undisclosed defects. If Kia's electrical failures weren't bad enough, the next sedan has a problem that's become so notorious that 500,000 owners are part of a $277 million class action settlement. Number 4. Nissan Altima 2013 to 2022, the CVT transmission that defined the phrase Nissan CVT lawsuit and destroyed the brand's reputation forever. The Altima used to compete with the Camry and Accord. Comfortable, efficient, reliable? Then Nissan installed the Jatco CVT transmission and turned it into the most complained about sedan in America. The transmission fails so predictably that class action lawsuits forced Nissan to settle for $277 million, and they're still selling new Altimas with the same defective CVT. The transmission shudders violently. Owners describe it like driving over rumble strips constantly. The car vibrates, shakes, and feels like it's falling apart. The shuddering starts around 40,000 miles and gets worse until the transmission fails completely. One owner in Florida said his Altima shook so badly that passengers thought something was seriously wrong. He took it to Nissan 4 times. Each time they said it was normal CVT behavior. At 62,000 miles, the transmission failed completely while he was merging onto I-95. No acceleration, no power, just coasting into 70-mile-per-hour traffic. Loss of acceleration is the most dangerous symptom. The transmission hesitates, delays, then suddenly surges forward, or it doesn't surge at all and leaves you crawling into traffic. Owners report terrifying situations trying to merge onto highways when the transmission won't accelerate, leaving them at 30 miles per hour entering 65-mile-per-hour traffic. Multiple complaints describe near collisions because other drivers had to slam on brakes to avoid rear-ending Altimas that suddenly lost power. Complete transmission failure happens between 60,000 and 90,000 miles. Replacement cost is $7,500 to $9,000. Nissan settled the class action lawsuit offering warranty extensions and some reimbursement for repairs, but the settlement requires proof of transmission repairs, and many owners never documented their problems or didn't know about the lawsuit until it was too late. The average payout was a few $100s. Meanwhile, owners paid thousands for transmission replacements just outside warranty. The lawsuits allege Nissan knew about the defect for over a decade. They received thousands of complaints. NHTSA opened investigations, and internal warranty data showed CVT failure rates far above normal. Nissan's response? Keep selling Altimas with the same transmission and hope most fail after warranty expires. They chose profit over safety and left hundreds of thousands of owners with worthless cars that cost more to fix than they're worth. Resale values are destroyed. 2018 Altimas that sold for $28,000 new are worth $8,000 today. That's 71% depreciation in 6 years. Nobody wants an Altima. Everyone knows about the CVT. If you own one, you're stuck making payments on a car you can't sell. But at least Nissan's CVT problems are well documented and easy to avoid. The next vehicle hides its failures behind a luxury badge, and most buyers don't realize they bought a disaster until the engine grenades. Number 3. Mazda CX-9 2016 to 2023, the 3-row SUV with a turbocharged engine that self-destructs and costs $12,000 to replace. The CX-9 is Mazda's largest SUV, competing with the Highlander and Pilot. It's stylish, fun to drive, and has a turbo engine that feels powerful until it blows up. The 2.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder has catastrophic failures that Mazda refuses to acknowledge or recall. Carbon buildup destroys the engine. Direct injection engines are prone to carbon deposits on intake valves, but the CX-9's engine accumulates carbon so fast that by 60,000 miles, the valves are so clogged that the engine misfires, runs rough, and loses power. Owners report needing walnut blasting service, where technicians blast the valves with walnut shells to remove carbon. Cost? $1,200 to $1,800. And it's not covered by warranty because Mazda claims it's maintenance, not a defect. But carbon buildup is just the warning. The real failure is the turbocharger. The turbo fails between 70,000 and 100,000 miles. When it fails, metal shavings from the turbo get sucked into the engine, destroying pistons, cylinder walls, and valves. One owner in Michigan said his CX-9 started making a rattling noise at 82,000 miles. 3 days later, massive smoke from the exhaust and complete engine failure. Mazda's diagnosis? Turbo failed. Contaminated the engine, total loss. Replacement cost? $11,800. Not covered by warranty. Mazda claimed the owner didn't use synthetic oil, even though he had receipts for every oil change. Multiple owners report identical failures. turbo fails, engine gets contaminated, complete engine replacement required. Mazda refuses warranty coverage, blaming owners for maintenance issues even when they have documentation proving otherwise. This is corporate strategy. Deny claims, force owners to pay, and hope most don't hire lawyers. The financial trap is vicious. CX-9s cost $40,000 to $48,000 new. At 80,000 miles when the engine fails, the vehicle is worth maybe $18,000. You're paying $12,000 to fix an engine on a vehicle worth $18,000. You'll never recover that money, and you can't sell it with a blown engine. Most owners just trade it in for pennies and eat the loss. And if you think Mazda's engine failures are bad, the next two vehicles prove that even Honda, the reliability king, has completely lost the plot. Number 2, Honda Civic 2022 to 2025, where the car that defined reliability now catches fire from cracked fuel pumps and loses steering at highway speeds. The Civic has been America's most reliable compact car for 40 years. You bought a Civic, it ran forever. It held value. But the 11th generation Civic has failures so catastrophic that Consumer Reports downgraded it, and lemon law attorneys are flooded with cases. Fuel pumps crack and leak gasoline. Honda recalled 720,000 vehicles, including the 2025 Civic, because the high-pressure fuel pump can develop cracks that leak fuel. A Texas owner's 2025 Civic caught fire on the highway 6 weeks after purchase. The fuel pump cracked. Gasoline sprayed onto hot engine parts, and the car burst into flames during rush hour traffic. He barely escaped. His Civic had been recalled, but Honda said the parts weren't available yet, so the repair couldn't be done. They sold him a vehicle with a known fire defect and told him to wait months for a fix. Steering failures affect over 1.6 million Honda vehicles, including the Civic. The steering gearbox has excessive internal friction that makes steering difficult or unresponsive. Owners report the steering wheel suddenly stiffening during turns, requiring both hands to move it, then releasing without warning and jerking the car into another lane. One owner in Georgia said his son was turning left at 20 miles per hour when the steering locked, released violently, and sent the Civic up a curb into a parked car. Honda's fix replaced a spring and added grease. The problem returned 3 months later. The driver's seat isn't bolted properly. Another recall for unsecured driver seats that can detach in a crash. The seat cushion frame wasn't tightened correctly during assembly, meaning in a collision, the seat can break free and the driver loses all restraint. This is basic manufacturing failure. Honda forgot to tighten bolts on the most important safety component in the vehicle. Resale values are holding steady because most buyers don't know about these problems yet. But once word spreads about fuel fires and steering failures, Civic values will collapse just like every other vehicle on this list. And if you own a 2022 to 2025 Civic, check your VIN for recalls immediately. If you have the fuel pump or steering recall and the repair isn't available, park the car and demand a rental from Honda until it's fixed. If you thought that was the worst, you were wrong. Number 1 is a sedan that's losing 9,000 customers per year because the transmission they installed is so defective that 2 separate class action lawsuits are demanding recalls, buybacks, and billions in damages. Number 1, Nissan Rogue 2014 to 2025, the best-selling SUV in America with a CVT transmission so defective that it spawned 5 class action lawsuits, a $277 million settlement, and still hasn't been recalled. The Rogue is Nissan's cash cow. They sell over 300,000 per year, but it's also the most complained about vehicle in NHTSA history for transmission failures. The CVT fails so predictably that owning a Rogue past 70,000 miles is financial suicide. The transmission shudders violently starting around 30,000 miles. It feels like driving over rumble strips constantly. The vehicle vibrates, shakes, and sounds like it's falling apart. Nissan dealerships tell owners it's normal CVT behavior. It's not normal. It's the transmission destroying itself. By 60,000 miles, the shuddering is so bad that passengers refuse to ride in the vehicle. By 80,000 miles, the transmission fails completely. Loss of power is terrifying. The Rogue hesitates when you accelerate, delays for 2 to 3 seconds, then suddenly surges forward, or it doesn't surge at all and leaves you crawling into traffic. Multiple owners describe trying to merge onto highways when the transmission won't accelerate, leaving them at 25 miles per hour entering 70 mile per hour traffic while semi-trucks bear down on them. That's not a defect. That's attempted vehicular manslaughter by negligence. Complete transmission failure happens between 70,000 and 100,000 miles. Replacement cost is $7,000 to $9,000. Nissan settled 5 separate class action lawsuits for CVT failures, paying $277 million total, but the settlement splits that money among hundreds of thousands of owners. Most received warranty extensions worth maybe $800 and a voucher toward buying another Nissan. Meanwhile, transmission replacements cost $8,500, and most failures happened right after warranty expired. The lawsuits allege Nissan knowingly sold defective vehicles for over a decade. Internal documents show Nissan received over 200,000 complaints about CVT failures. NHTSA opened multiple investigations. Nissan's response? Issue technical service bulletins instructing dealers to tell owners it's normal, perform minor software updates that don't fix anything, and wait until warranty expires so owners pay for replacements. This isn't incompetence, this is corporate fraud on a massive scale. Resale values are obliterated. 2019 Rogues that sold for $28,000 new are worth $9,000 today. That's 68% depreciation in 5 years. Banks won't finance used Rogues without extended warranties. Insurance companies charge higher premiums because of the transmission failures and safety risks. If you own a Rogue, you can't sell it. If you try, you'll lose $15,000 instantly. You're trapped in a vehicle that will fail catastrophically, and when it does, you'll pay $8,500 to fix a car worth $10,000. So there you have it, 10 cars that will financially destroy you in 2026. From Mazda's water leaks to Nissan's transmission fraud, these aren't minor problems. These are catastrophic defects affecting millions of owners right now. If you're shopping for any of these models, walk away. If you own one, document everything, check for recalls, and talk to a lemon law attorney before your warranty expires. Because when manufacturers sell you a defective vehicle and refuse to fix it, you're not a customer. You're a liability they're hoping goes away quietly. Which of these shocked you most? Drop it in the comments, and if this just saved you from a financial disaster, subscribe because I'm exposing what dealers won't tell you every single week.